There's been a lot of confusion about the path of this wave in the Atlantic, so let's talk about it. I'm meteorologist Hannah Gard with Fox 8 New Orleans. The tropical wave that we're tracking is located near the Greater Antilles right now. It's expected to continue this west-northwestward track over the next couple of days. It's currently just a mass of thunderstorm and convection activity that's moving over the Caribbean islands. It's also battling dry air with all of this Saharan dust that's in the atmosphere and high wind shear. But the most important thing you need to know is that there is no defined center yet on this tropical wave. That's important because it hasn't developed yet, and models do not do a good job when there's no center of circulation to make those model runs off of. The model uncertainty of the track and the strength varies greatly when there's no center, because not only is the model having to produce the ultimate track using these long equations with many variables, but it's also having to guess where the center will form. So when you look at one of these National Hurricane Center maps of the potential formation area, that's this hatched area in orange, that's where the center could form. So this is not a cone. It's not saying that it's going to go up the East Coast and it has been adjusted a little bit farther to the west. It's saying the center could potentially form in this area. So with that, it has pushed a little bit farther to the west, expanding into parts of the Eastern Gulf because model consensus has been shifting westward. This model earlier in the week was showing this wave eventually forming and pushing up the East Coast. Now we don't have a center yet, so there is a lot of uncertainty with that. And now you can see the model is shifting more toward that wave, making it into the Gulf near Florida. Meanwhile, this is what the GFS ensemble members have been doing today. You can definitely see that they're more on board with this Eastern Gulf system. That's why it's important not to put all of your tropical eggs in one model basket. But talking about that wave, say we have a weaker system with a lot of land interaction over the Caribbean, that would stay farther south and we'd be looking more at a Gulf system potential. That East Coast turn modeling is more of a stronger storm that develops potentially earlier and has less land interaction. The steering pattern for this system largely depends on this high pressure over to the east. You can see that's what's keeping it to the south, but we have this low pressure coming over the East Coast. If it misses its ride up north, that could keep it stalling in the Gulf. So the moral of the story is we don't know right now where exactly the system is heading. The good news is it's very slow moving. We have a lot of time to watch this potentially develop as it heads over the Caribbean toward the Bahamas, but it's something to watch even if you live along the northern Gulf Coast, in Florida, and on the US East Coast. It's also a good reminder that it's important to keep checking in on those updates. This is a changing forecast, and you want to make sure you're staying weather aware. The main threats with this system, especially if we see a very slow-moving, stalled-out system in the Eastern Gulf, will be heavy rainfall for parts of Florida and the Gulf Coast. If we do see this system form, it would be by this weekend or the start of next week.